Bluegrass Jamboree. Playing the best in bluegrass, bluegrass gospel, and traditional country music 24/7. Listen on the go. Download the Bluegrass Jamboree app or find us on TuneIn Radio. Also on social media, or just go to www.thebluegrassjamboree.com.
I've got with me Butch Suitt, and we're going to be talking about Full Circle, but more than anything, we're going to get to know Butch, his great history of bluegrass music, and talk about what he's got going on. So, Butch, I want to take a moment and welcome you to Hear It Here on the BluegrassJamboree.com.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad to be part of it.
We are honored to be able to spend this time talking to you today about Full Circle. That's your brand new project. In fact, it's being released today. Tell us a little bit about getting this project together. Who do we want to thank? Everybody that's had a hand in seeing to it that this album came to life.
The first person that I have to thank would have to be God. The rest of them would be all the individuals that participated on this album with me: Tony Ray, Don Rigsby, Tim Crouch. Tim Crouch produced it, and the people. I mean, I started doing this when I was 8 years old, like I said, playing with Rhonda Vincent and her mom and dad at Sally Mountain Show, Possum Trot. I've been playing bluegrass my whole life. I was working at Silver Dollar City when I was a kid playing bluegrass. So I have to thank everybody that buys this album and listens to my music and everything. Those are the ones that I need to thank the most.
Since your history goes back as far as it does, I know you've got some stories to tell and some people to talk about throughout all those years. What got you pulled into bluegrass at such an early age?
I grew up and my daddy got killed whenever I was 4 years old. My mom was pregnant with my little sister whenever my dad got killed in a farming accident, and he used to stand me up in the back seat of his Buick and have me sing Porter Wagner songs. And when I was like 3 years old, my cousin Pat and Mike Davidson had told me these stories and how he would stick his chest out and was proud of me for singing. I started singing. My stepdad would take me after my dad died. My stepdad would take me to the bars, and I would sing in the clubs when I was 5, so. And then I had an opportunity, Brent Truitt from Steel Drivers. I lived with Max and his mom and dad from 9th through the 12th grade when I graduated high school. And I've been drawn to bluegrass ever since I was a kid. I mean, to me, it's a way of life. I can't breathe without it.
Now, what instruments have you mastered at this point in time in life?
I play guitar. My grandfather was alive and I wanted to play mandolin, and I can play upright bass and things like that also. But my grandfather always told me, you need to concentrate on one thing, just do it better than the next person. And so I've concentrated more on guitar. I like guitar. I just love my guitar.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. What kind of guitar do you have?
I have a Martin D16 RGT, and I have a 1974 D35 Martin.
Is there any way for a guitar player to have only one?
Not in my world.
Not in your, I didn't think so either. It's like, that's why when I asked the question, what kind do you have? I should have said, what kinds? Because it's like a going thing. You got to have more than one because it depends on the moment, I'm sure, as to which one you want to play.
Sure. And that's something that I learned from Tim Crouch, having Tim Crouch produce this album, Full Circle, is that Tim has different kinds of instruments that he uses in the studio also. And the reason is because they all have different tones. They all have different sounds. He has a certain pick for each instrument that he plays, just to get that certain tone and sound out of that instrument.
Well, it takes a lot of knowledge and a lot of committing to a specific instrument, I'm sure, to be able to pick up on all of that.
Well, I concentrated more. My main thing for me playing guitar is rhythm, and I learned all that from Johnny Vincent. That's Rhonda's daddy. He's passed, but he helped me tremendously with my rhythm. Ed Long from Possum Trot helped me tremendously with my rhythm. I pride myself in the things that I have been taught by those individuals to play the kind of rhythm that I do play. And as far as the other picking, the Tony Rices, I am not a Tony Rice. I don't claim to be a Tony Rice. I concentrate on doing my craft and doing it well.
Where are you from?
I live in Mount Vernon, Arkansas. I was born in Hyco, Texas. I was raised in Northeast Missouri. I lived about 18 miles from Johnny and Carolyn and Rhonda, and I was brought up pretty rough. So music for me was a way out of a bad situation from the way I was brought up. That was my ticket out. And so I really concentrated on I was playing bluegrass festivals when I was just a kid. I was on the Big Blue Marble television show out of New York City for the most talented kids in the world. And they came out of New York City and filmed me when I was like 12 years old. So that's what I love. That's what I live and breathe.
Well, you made the comment that it was your escape out. Do you feel like people are turning towards that once again, music being the escape out of everything that's going on in the world today?
I think that music has always been an escape. I think the music has always been escape. But I think that with music, as far as nowadays, it's like Tim Crouch. These are the words of Tim Crouch. People need to feel something again. They need to feel these songs. They need to feel the way that these songs make you actually feel. That's what this album is all about. This album is called Full Circle. The reason for it is, and the songs, most of the songs on there are songs that I have written. Where I was fortunate enough to be able to go back to the homestead where my dad had got killed in the farming accident, and that's where my photo shoot was done. And it helped me with a lot of closure for me, because I hadn't been there in 53 years. For me, it was a blessing for me. But that's my answer as far as music nowadays. I think music should be an escape for everybody. When the world is falling apart around you, you can listen to good music, and it takes you to a different place, a better place.
I absolutely agree. I see one of the tracks on your CD. It's by, well, the popular version, I should say, is by one of the artists that I love his music, Lonesome, Ornery, and Mean. Of course, I'm talking about Waylon Jennings. So you've got your definite feel of some country in there as well. If not playing country music, at least you're covering some of the songs.
Yeah, I can play country music also. I mean, that's one of the benefits to me as being a bluegrass musician is I don't know of too many bluegrass musicians that can't play country. I don't. I mean, for me, I can sing Merle Haggard and George Jones all day long if that's what you want to hear. It's more my wheelhouse to play bluegrass music, and that's more in my wheelhouse.
Many of these are originals. You said you had written quite a few of these. How many songs have you got under your belt that have been released?
I'm going to say probably 15 to 20.
That's a good feeling, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am, it is. It makes me feel good to know, my cousins. I refer back to my cousins quite often, Pat and Mike Davidson from Kirksville, Missouri. And the reason why I do that is because they've always supported. They had the opportunity to they actually spent more time with my daddy whenever he was here on earth than I remember. So they refresh my memory. My cousins are the ones that set it up for me to go to the old homestead and get this album produced. And I was fortunate enough to have Tim Crouch take on the project as producer of it. And this album has been a blessing all the way around.
I'm glad you've got that kind of help and inspiration in the family. I'm thankful that you had them and that you were able to put some closure into all of your past, going back to the old home place.
The song that I wrote, the first song on the album is Every Step of the Way. I originally wrote the song with I Just Came Back to Talk to You, Daddy, and I changed the word to Mama because, in all honesty, I was told that it would be better to put Mama in there because everybody loves their mama. And everybody loves their dads too, but it's just a different kind of love. To make it more marketable, I put the word Mama back in there, but the song was actually written for my daddy because if I wanted to come and talk to my dad, that's what I had to talk to was a headstone, and that's where the song originated from.
Well, on that note, I think it would be a great time for us to share this one with our listeners. Again, this album being released today, titled Full Circle, and on the phone with me, Butch Suitt, and here we go. We're going to give this one a spin. It's Every Step of the Way.
another time in those old Missouri hills. As a boy I would run and play. Things have changed a lot since then, it's all a different way. That's not what brought me back here yesterday. I just came back to talk to you, Mama, and let you know that I'm okay. I've always known you were with me in every step of the way. I wish that you could know the man that I am today. How proud of me I hope you would be. Sometimes when I close my eyes I can see your face. For now you are just a memory. I just came back to talk to you, Mama, and let you know that I'm okay. I've always known you were with me in every step of the way. Called her and talked to her on the phone. For now this will just have to do. I'm sitting here talking to a cold, lonely stone. God knows how much I'm missing you. I just came back to talk to you, Mama, and let you know that I'm okay. I've always known you were with me in every step of the way. I just came back to talk to you, Mama, and let you know that I'm okay. I've always known you were with me in every step of the way. I've always known you were with me in every step of the way.
Do you have a website that's up and available?
I have a marketing manager, a lady that handles my merchandise in Rupert, Idaho. Her name is Mary Jo Gibson. Is it all right if I give you her phone number?
Is it okay with her if you give us her phone number?
Yes, it is.
Okay, well then by all means.
It's 208-430-0221. She handles all my merchandise, my CDs, my caps, my T-shirts, my hoodies, things like that. She's pretty good.
Other than having a hard copy of the CD, will the CD be available for download on the popular websites for such?
EMG, Sony in Nashville, Tennessee. EMG, Adam Englehart will be, it's be released for downloads. It'll be available for all downloads.
So with the CD being available, widespread, people want a hard copy. Again, can you give us a number so that they can call and order that hard copy and a T-shirt and a hat maybe?
It's 208-430-0221. Mary Jo Gibson.
And Mary Jo, we appreciate your hard work on this. And for those of you who want to download it, EMG Sony. It's going to be on a lot of those great websites. You can go to it, you can download it, and I'm sure it's also going to be available on Spotify if folks want to go and listen to it there. But I recommend you call in to your favorite DJ, get you a taste of the songs, and then order that hard copy. What have you got going on with the craziness in the world right now? Are you able to get out and play and keep yourself entertained and keep the music alive there?
It's I think everybody knows what the situation is with our pandemic and everything, and there's a lot of venues that I'm not able to do. and I miss that. I miss being able to see the people, visit with the people, and get to hang out with them, and I miss that tremendously. There's not so much of that right now. I'm still getting to do little shows, but nothing like I was or what I'm used to, and it's just, I guess it's a learning curve for me, because you get to the point where you're used to be getting to see your fans and your people that have always supported you, and then it's not there right now, and that's why that's another thing about this album. You're not able to really, if you're not able to come and see me, or I'm not able to come and play like I was before, you'll have a copy of this album. And this album, it's full circle. I mean, it's exactly what it is. And it covers a lot. And if it doesn't take you somewhere, I want to know about it, because I'll promise you, these songs on this album will take you to places back in your mind and back in your memory that you probably haven't been in a long time. Number 3, there's a song on there, number 3, that I wrote. It's called I Can Still See Him. It refers back to my grandfather. I can still see him riding around on his tractor. I can still see him feeding cows and playing cards as part of the words. And I can still see him baling hay and working hard. And when I close my eyes, I can still see him. That's part of the words.
I can still see him riding round on his tractor, and I can still see him feeding cows and playing cards, and I can still see him baling hay and working hard. When I close my eyes, I still see him. Oh, how I miss him, the words cannot describe what he meant to me, how important to my life. He wasn't just my grandpa, he was my best friend. When I close my eyes, I still see him. When my time is over, we will meet again. I'll see him up in heaven, we'll be walking hand in hand. A happy day that will be, when no more I will grieve. I won't have to close my eyes, I can see him. I'm ready for that day to come, so I can see him.
Russell Moore is one of my favorite singers on the planet. I mean, he always has been. As a matter of fact, in 2001, I was playing guitar with a band called First Impression out of West Plains, Missouri, and we entered the Spigma Nashville competition in Nashville in 2001, and we won it. And I played Erase the Miles. We done it live in front of the crowd in the competition. And I looked over in the doorway, and there stood Russell Moore and Carl Jackson. Carl Jackson's the one that wrote the song.
Yes, he is.
And when I got finished, I walked off the stage. Carl Jackson is one of the nicest people that I've ever had the opportunity to meet in my life. He came up to me and he told me what a fabulous job I done on his song. And that just made that, man, that was worth it.
I can imagine it was.
I loved it. But I've been doing this a long time. It's taken me a long time to get to where I'm at right now. And it's because of everything that y'all do too. Because if y'all don't play my stuff, no one's going to hear it. So, and if they don't get heard, I'm a leaf in the wind, darling.
That's exactly right. And we don't want to see that happen. So we want to definitely get the music out there, let our listeners hear it, fall in love with it, buy a copy so they can play it whenever we might not have a live DJ on. But it's about keeping the music alive, period. And that's
right.
Something it takes all of us.
You know, for Tim Crouch to say what he did about this album, for it to have, there's not a song on this album that you won't feel. This album will take you somewhere. There's a song on here that I recorded that was written by Peter Rowan and Bill Monroe called Walls of Time. I was fortunate enough to have Don Rigsby singing tenor with me on it. So, man, it was fun. You know,
he's an amazing artist as well.
All of them are. I got Tony Ray on there with me. I got Josh Swift on there. Used to play with Doyle Lawson. I got Randy Coors on there. Tim Crouch, Harry Stinson from Marty Stewart's band singing some tenor with me on some stuff. So I couldn't be more proud of this project.
When you do go out and you perform live, what band do you have with you at that point, or do you have a dedicated band members?
No, I don't have dedicated band members. I have band members that I use if they're available. I call them whenever we're gone somewhere playing. I call it Butch Suitt and swag. And the reason why I got the swag part was I was in the doctor's office one day, and there was a lady in there, and I had sent her, she wanted me to show her some videos of me playing. So I played her some, and she said, "Boy, you and that banjo player sure do have swag." I said, "I don't even know what that is."
Well, you found out kind of quick. You've got them, and they're playing with you everywhere you go.
Yeah, so I just call them swag.
Well, I love it. I think that's a great way to come up with a name, and hopefully she feels that sense of pride every time she hears it as well.
She sends me texts. She's from Conway, Arkansas, and she sends me texts all the time telling me, "I'm so proud of you. You're doing so good, baby." And I tell her, "I appreciate you, Sheila." That's her name, Sheila Fletcher.
Well, inspiration is in some of the strangest places sometimes, and
it really is.
You got to take what you can get and thank God for it, because He puts those people in your life for a reason.
That's something else. Since my cousins have taken me back to the old home place, and I've got to see where my dad had actually got killed at and everything with a tractor. He had a tractor rolled over on top of him in 1966. And I got to actually see that and be there. It sure has changed. It's changed a lot of things for me.
I'm sure it has. It had to have been a difficult life growing up without your dad, but you've made a great life of it. And we're thankful that you did. I'm glad you turned to music, because that helped us to come together, actually meet one another, and be able to do what we're doing today.
Yes, ma'am. I agree with that 100%. That's if I wouldn't have had the opportunities to play with the Rhonda Vincents, the Johnny Vincents, the Jimmy Campbell, the Brent Truitts, the Tim Crouches, if I hadn't had those opportunities, there's no telling what avenue. So many times in this day and time, there's so many people take the wrong path. But I was fortunate enough and blessed enough to stay the course on what I believed in. And I believe in bluegrass music, and I believe in music in general. As far as the overall music that's going on anymore, I'm not much of a fan. I'm not going to lie to you. But bluegrass music, I'm very much a fan of. And I always have been, and I always will.
I'm right there with you on that one. It's always been a part of my life. I can't say always been a very strong part, but it's always been there. And when it come down to it and I needed it, it was there for me. So bluegrass music does have its healing properties. God uses it to touch people and to bring them together.
There's another song on this album that I had wrote. It's called "It's Not the Miles I've Traveled, Just the Stops I've Made." Now, if that's not a true statement, I don't know what else would be, because we all know that in life, the roads we travel down, it doesn't matter that you travel down those roads. It's just the stops you make and what you do at those stops. That's my opinion. And
that's a strong statement.
That's a song that I wrote on there. It's called It's Not the Miles I've Traveled, Just the Stops I've Made.
I think I want to let that one be the song that takes us out on this interview. And Butch, again, I want to thank you so much for taking time to talk to me today in regards to Full Circle. I wish you double the blessings from here forward as you've already received. I know it's been a lot, but you have given us so much in this one album, and I'm looking forward to a whole lot more out of you in the near future.
Annette, thank you so much for allowing me to have this opportunity. This is something that I've worked for. This is one of my goals in life, be able to be in a position to where my music is played and where it's heard.
We're going to do our part to make sure that that happens, and it's always easy to do when we've got great music to do that with. So again, thank you for this album. Thank you for your time today, and God bless you. You be safe in your travels.
God bless you, Annette, and thank you again. I appreciate it, and I appreciate all the listeners also.
It's not the miles that I've traveled, just the stops I've made. I'll keep on smiling, it's a brand new day. Knowing I'm not drinking my whole life away. It's not the miles that I've traveled, just the stops I've made. I'm living and learning about the new life I've made. And as of lately, my whole life just changed. It's because of a woman with pretty long black hair. I know that she loves me, she'll always be there. It's not the miles I've traveled, just the stops I've made. I'll keep on smiling, it's a brand new day. No, and I'm not drinking my whole life away. It's not the miles that I've traveled, just the stops I've made. On the wrong road as a young man, living life without a care. No concern about tomorrow, not really going anywhere. There were those who tried to save me, help me turn my life around. My heart was changed forever by the true love I found. It's not the miles that I've traveled, it's just the stops I've made. I'll keep on smiling, it's a brand new day. Knowing I'm not drinking my whole life away. It's not the miles that I've traveled, just the stops I've made. It's not the miles that I've traveled, just the stops I've made.
Now that you've logged on to the BluegrassJamboree.com and you're listening to the world's best bluegrass music, you may want to browse our website, TheBluegrassJamboree.com. There you'll find information about our radio station, our on-air schedule, bluegrass news, photo albums, links, and much more. Browse the website today, TheBluegrassJamboree.com. The best mix of bluegrass, bluegrass gospel, and traditional country. From the stars of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. TheBluegrassJamboree.com.